Welcome to another segment of Bella TV. Today, I am joined by actress Alise Willis. Alise, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So, we're going to get started. We're going to talk about, probably one of my favorite shows that I've watched recently on Netflix called Echoes that you were starring in. But I want to take it back to the beginning because before acting, you were actually a very successful model and lived in New York City and worked for a huge agency and kind of traveled the world. So, tell me about your journey from modeling to acting.
Wow, it has been a journey to say the least. I'm so grateful to have started as a model because, I think that it has definitely prepared me for this journey of acting. Having tough skin and being told no and just kind of like making your own rules within the industry. I've got that all from modeling. So I started modeling when I was 16 professionally. I started with Ford Models in Chicago. Long story short, as soon as I graduated from high school, I moved to New York City where I started doing it full time. Stayed in New York for a couple years, and then I went to Europe for a few years, did like South Africa, and made my way back to New York City before I came to Los Angeles and decided that I wanted to act full time. And it was, one of the best experiences of my life. I feel like you can learn about things in school and read about it, but it's not until you're actually experiencing it that you really know. And so it's taught me a lot of life lessons. I've learned a lot about myself. And like I said, it prepared me for where I am today.
Yeah,
So,
that's amazing. So you move to LA, you know that you want to break out into acting. What was kind of your big break? What was your first big role?
well, it took a very long time. My story was like the 10-year overnight success.
Yeah.
It took a very long time because when I started training in New York City, but when I moved to Los Angeles, I realized that I needed a lot more training. So I just completely immersed myself in class. For the first 3 or 4 years, I just trained nonstop. And then I would say I started doing co-star roles here and there. I would say my first big role was Coming to America, the sequel,
Yes.
playing the Royal Bather, and that was in 2019. And it seemed like once that kicked off,
Yes.
things started to have like a domino effect, and things started picking up for me.
Yeah. And the Coming to America sequel was obviously star-studded. What was it like to work with Eddie Murphy and some of the cast members?
I mean, I was a kid when the first Coming to America came out, but growing up, I've watched it and it has always been a staple, especially as a comedy. It's still like, it goes down in history as like, one of the best. So to be able to work with, like you said, a star-studded cast, I had to like pinch myself, like, am I here? Is this really happening? And it was just, everyone was so sweet and welcoming, and I was in and out. I shot that in Atlanta. I shoot a lot in Atlanta. And it was just a very fun experience, a great experience to get my feet wet for my first film. I have nothing but good things to say.
That's awesome. And then present day. So I also on Netflix, I binged Echoes. It was such a cool concept, almost like a thriller, but a little sci-fi. And I was like, where is this going to go? And usually I'm pretty good at predicting things. And I'm watching, and every episode, I'm like questioning what is happening.
I
So,
know.
you starred opposite Michelle Monaghan. She did so amazing,
Oh
playing not just one, but two characters.
my God.
So, for anyone who hasn't seen the show yet, give us kind of a rundown on the plot and then who your character is.
Yeah, so Echoes is about two identical twin sisters who, in a nutshell, they swap lives. They swap husbands, they swap careers, they swap even a child, and no one knows about this swapping that they do every year on their birthday, but the two of them. So their family doesn't know, friends, husbands. They don't even know. And without giving too much away, one twin goes missing, and the other twin has to figure out what happened to her. And as the story unfolds, as you say, it kind of unfolds in a way that no one is expecting it to go. My character is Meg. I play the best friend of Lenny. And when we first meet Meg, she's not happy with Lenny. She doesn't want any parts to do with Lenny. And we start to understand why as the episodes go on.
Yeah. It was really cool. It was one of those shows that you can't pick up your phone, you can't leave the
Oh,
room to go do something else. Like you have to really pay. And I'm watching and I'm like, wait, let me run that back so I know who is who and I can keep track of which twin is where because but it was so cool. And the way the story kind of unraveled, it was different and I loved it. It was really, really great.
yeah. I mean,
And
I'm a part of the series, right? And I couldn't even pick up my phone.
yeah,
Like the day that it released, I was trying to, I had press but I was trying to watch a couple episodes. I couldn't. Like you said, I mean, the second you turn away, you're like, wait, what's going on? What's happening?
yeah,
And I love shows like that because there's so many, TV shows and movies that are like so predictable, right? And as soon as it comes on, I feel like I have a gift of like knowing how it's going to end.
yes.
And like I said, even being a part of Echoes and like, reading the script, I was still like, wait, who is this? What's going on?
Yeah.
So I think that's why a lot of the fans were, for many reasons, intrigued, because we don't have shows like that.
No, it's one of those ones that once you tune in, like you're hooked. You're easily hooked and you have to finish watching and you have to figure out what happens. Um,
Absolutely.
you're in another series as well called Ruthless
Mhm.
on BT, produced by Tyler Perry. This also has a really cool kind of creepy plot
Yeah.
as well. So I'm going to let you talk about it, but then I'm going to ask you if there's a reason why you're drawn to these kind of crazy plots. But first, tell us a little bit about Ruthless and your character.
So Ruthless is about a sex cult who, the people who join this cult, they don't know that's a cult. Like you don't join a cult, right? They're looking for something in life. And my character Lacey, she's missing something. She's had a rough past, and she's looking for God,
Yeah.
and ends up at the wrong place at the wrong time. And when we first meet Lacey, she's completely committed
Mhm.
to the cult. She's 100% down. She doesn't see any of the red flags. And then she goes through something very traumatic and she has a complete change of heart. And she is going to do anything and everything that she can to get out of the compound. And I love playing Lacey because a lot of the women on the compound, you have to be very submissive and yes, sir, and keep your head bowed down and follow the rules. Lacey doesn't care about any of that. Like once she has it in her head that she wants to go, there's nothing that can stop her. And so she ends up in a lot of trouble in every season. And yeah, I'm so attracted to dark, dark, would my one of my acting coaches would say, kitchen sink thrillers,
Yeah.
because you're gonna be hurt, you're gonna be crying, you're gonna be devastated. And going into this type of work, there's a lot of inner work that I have to do, going into it, and then especially leaving it, because it can do a lot on your psyche, your emotional, the emotional aspect of everything.
Yeah.
um, so it's important to like release that. But I love it. I love to play characters who are so completely opposite from me, and who are going through things in life that hopefully I never go through.
Yeah. I mean, I love my favorite, genres, thriller, murder, mysteries, true crime, things like that. So I definitely love the genre. So it's really cool that you get to play it.
Yeah,
And then, like you said, when you come out of it, you have to kind of do that inner work, remove yourself. So what
absolutely.
do you do? I know you're very active and what are some of the things that you do in your spare time to kind of help you get out of that creepy, crazy mindset.
Oh, yeah. It depends. Most of the time, very spiritual. I'm very, connected to God. So the first thing I do is pray and I try to release everything. I meditate,
Mhm.
affirmations, manifestations, just anything that I can do to get back to feeling good
Yeah.
and to being Alise. I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm super optimistic and super positive, at heart.
Mhm.
And my characters aren't like that.
Mhm.
And so I just, pour into myself, love on myself, and, you know, um, lots of meditating. That's what it is.
You're also involved in, so at Bella, we are very big on the beauty of giving back.
Mm,
I know that you're involved with a nonprofit, House of Ruth, correct?
Los
Um,
Angeles House of Ruth, yes.
so tell us about kind of, the mission and the work that you're doing with House of Ruth.
House of Ruth is, wow, it's definitely something that is very special to me. House of Ruth, Los Angeles House of Ruth, there's House of Ruths all over America. But Los Angeles House of Ruth is dedicated to helping battered women with children. And so we help women get off of the street, help women get on their feet, and give them a second chance at life. A
Yeah.
lot of women who go through the program, it's a very successful program. One of the most cost efficient shelters in Los Angeles. I believe it's about $28 and some cents a day to help a family.
Wow.
Um, and a lot of the women, they come back after, years later, their children grow up, they come and help and volunteer, and their lives are impacted in the most beautiful way. So to see that and to be able to make a real difference, because in Los Angeles, there's a huge homeless problem and
Yeah.
so many other issues. And I'm always thinking, like, how can I be effective? Like, how can one person be the most effective? And sometimes, like, looking at some of the issues that we have here in Los Angeles, it seems overwhelming. It seems like it's an obstacle that I can't face. But Los Angeles House of Ruth is something that I feel like I'm making a difference doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very, very amazing.
Yeah, and you are, like you said, how do I help? How do I give back? Just doing it.
Mhm.
So, kudos to you for that. Not that you probably have much spare time at all, but it's beautiful that when you do, you are giving back. So,
Yeah. And I try to do it more. It's like you make time for what you wanna do, right? And it's like, okay, how can I give back more?
yeah,
hmm
that's amazing. Well, before we wrap, is there anything you can share with us? Any upcoming projects, things that we should look out for, anything you're excited about that you can share? I know a lot of the times you can't. So,
I can't really share too much. I'm in the works of some things, and nothing is really signed on the dotted line yet. So I can't really share too much, but comedies are something that I am yearning for, especially after all of the heavy, dark series that I've been doing that I'm so grateful to do and I want to continue to do. But doing something that's a little bit lighter, a little bit more fun, that I don't have to do the inner work for after is on the horizon. So,
well, that's exciting. And I'm sure we will see much more of you. So let people
absolutely.
know where they can follow along, kind of keep up on your journey, whether it's social media, website, what have you.
Yes, so my Instagram is she is Alise Shante. You can find me on Twitter under Alise Willis with three S's after Willis, and my website is alisewillis.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Alise, for joining us. And if anyone hasn't seen Echoes yet, I highly recommend it. You will be hooked immediately. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.